Hello, good morning and good afternoon. Today I have come with a new title for BBS second year. What I think, what I am. This is the title of the essay written by Edward Hochland. What I think, what I am is an essay written by Edward Hochland. It is about the idea of reading through the digitalized form of modern technologies. This essay reveals the blending of the mind with feelings and thoughts. The writer's idea of writing essay are based on the observation rather than imagination. Essays of almost any kind are so much easier for a writer to sell now than short stories. The essays and stories are no comparable. After digital age, many things of the past have been replaced, and the art of telling stories have become as myth now. The art of telling stories predated even cave painting, and stories are easier art of telling the events of the society. Essays having somewhere on a line between the two study poles, and this is what the writer thinks and this is what he is. Autobiographies, which are not novels, are generally extended essays indeed. A personal essay is like the human voice, talking its order of the minds and its natural flow. Essays do not usually boil down to a summary as articles, but on the other hand, the writers have pure labels than first-rate fiction because the essayists are not supposed to argue about their meanings. It means the essayists do not argue about the meanings. They go on talking about the images and symbols. They do not narrate the story and tell the truth just like the narration of the story. So essays means a kind of meditation. Essays means a kind of concentration and contemplation of the thoughts and the ideas of the brain. So it is essays are much more concerned with the brains and with the mind. The author shows the distinction between teaching and storytelling. The essay is indeed intended to convey the emphasis upon the mind. That's why essay is always based on the mind, upon the mind. Speaking to mind is what makes essay less universal than stories. The essays are addressed to an educated person, especially to middle-class reader. Using I in an essay can be similar to the idea of narrator of fiction. Essays do tell a story, just as often as a short story takes a claim to a particular viewpoint. There is extraordinary flexibility of essays that has enabled the essays to hybridize the ideas, right? A fiction writer learns that he or she does not need to be writing fiction to write a short story. He or she can tell his or her own history or of anyone else is exactly as he or she remembers it, and it will still be fiction if it remains primarily a story. But if it does not remain primarily a story, and then it becomes an essay. So still story is different from the essay. An essayist soon discovers that he does not have to tell the whole truth. That is another idea. Story writer, storyteller always tells the truth, right? They have to tell the whole truth of the story, though it looks like a myth, right? But the essays do not tell the whole truth. They just present the images, they just present the symbols, and images and symbols become the exact idea of storytelling, essay, telling the truth through the form of the essay. He can shape his memories as long as the purpose is served to elucidating a truthful point. That means essayist can shape his memories and just fit that purpose through a truthful point through the explanation. A personal essay frequently is not autobiographical at all, but it conveys the quality of the author's mind. Generally, people talk that personal essay is personal views, but it is not autobiographical. It is the expression of the mind of the author, because essays are directly concerned with the mind. The essay is idiosyncrasy, means individual identity. Essay brings a kind of individual identity, personal identity. That individual identity can be found, can be seen in the essay. The essay is the expression of the freedom that the mind is bestowed. Means whatever the freedom is there and whatever comes in the mind, that is okay, expressed in the essay. The fascination of the mind is the fascination of the essay. So essay is almost concerned with the mind, right? It shows that the essayist may not be telling the truth, but reaching the truth through the images and symbols that he or she uses in his or her essay, right? So essayist may not be telling the truth, essayist may not be narrating any ideas, but they may be reaching the truth through the presentation of the images, through the presentation of the symbols, through the presentation of their own personal just images, right? The essay is the voice of the minds, and the essayist would be telling, conveying the ideas of his or her mind. So essays are nothing but the voices of the minds. The voices that is unheard, that is unspoken in the mind, are expressed through the essays. It is the attraction of the mind within the mind. See there. The essays are different from the stories. In the sense, it is the reflection of the minds rather than telling the story or narrating anything else. It is meditative, whereas the story is narrative. That means essay is meditative, and meditative means based on the mind, based on contemplation, based on thoughts, right? And it is not telling the stories. The essays convey only truth through the images and the symbols. The process of reading essay becomes, right? There is becomes, not become. Process of reading essay becomes, there is s is missed, becomes grammatically, becomes easy because of digitalized system of learning in modern times, but it was not so in the past. It means at present we can find any type of essays written by any authors in the digital form, and it is very easy to study essay, right, in the digital world, digital system, and it was impossible to read through the digital system, digital form in the past, right? The digitalization has brought the reading of the essays much more comfortable and easier, right? Digitalization has brought the change in reading essays. It has become easier. It has become much more comfortable. People do not have to go to the just library to read the essays. They can just go to the digital form and then they can read it. The essays are different from the stories in the sense the essays are linked with the mind, but stories are linked with the events. Stories are linked with the myth. Stories are linked with the society. Essays are linked with the thoughts, contemplation, and mind, what the essayist exactly thinks or attitude is there. The meditative process is the idea of the essays, whereas the narrative aspect is the principle of the stories. There is a basic demarcation, difference between the essay and the story. So the writer has focused mainly about the concept of the essay, how essay originates, how essay gets its birth, how essay is related with the mind, how it has a close connection between the mind and the thought and contemplation of the author, and how stories are different from the essays. This is how the writer has tried to find out what he exactly is in the essay, what he has thought. What I think, what I am, means whatever he thinks, that is what his identity. Whatever the essayist thinks, contemplates, whatever the essayist meditates through his mind, that is what he is. So reading an essay means reading or getting into the mind of the essayist. So what essayist thinks, that is what he is, right? Thinking process is the essay, and meditative process is the essay, and almost contemplation is the essay, or attitude of the mind is the essay, reflection of the hidden concept of the mind is essay. So whatever the writer thinks, what he is, right? That's why what I think, what I am. What the author thinks, that is what he is. What the author writes, that is what his essay is. So thinking process of the author and the mind, exact mind, revelation of the mind of the author means the knowing of the essays. So title is related with the idea of the mind. What I think, what I am. What the mind meditates, that is what the essayist. Reading essay means reading the essayist. Reading essay means reading the mind, mechanical system of the essayist, conscious thought of the essayist, contemplative mood of the essayist, meditative mood of the essayist. This is how the title has completely conveyed the idea of getting the truth through the images and symbols in the essays. Essay does not tell the truth. Essay does not give complete meaning, complete story, complete summary like article like writing in the just process of reading essay. Essay means does not tell the truth. It gives the half truth. It indicates something through the images, through the symbols, through the just figurative use of language, and it is the job of the readers to go into the concept, into the explanation of the images and symbols, and through which the meaning exactly comes. So essay does not mean telling the exact thing what the writer has just given in the ideas, right? This is how writer has clarified the difference between the essay and the story. Thank you. You can read and listen more ideas whatever I have told you in this slide, and just you can write even the concept, that is what I have presented out of the slides. Thank you.